You awaken not because you are rested, but because the North Sea has decided morning has begun. Wind groans through the timber walls of your longhouse, while icy mist rolls across the fjord beyond. Somewhere outside, in the darkness before dawn, a smith is already striking iron. Each hammer blow echoes across the frozen valley like the heartbeat of the world itself. This is Norway, around the year 930. And you are Jarl Eirik Sigurdsson, master of 3 longships, lord of 70 warriors, keeper of a settlement carved brutally into the edge of the earth. You sit upright beneath heavy wool blankets and immediately feel the ache in your left knee. A Frankish spear did that 15 winters ago. The scar across your belly came from a Dane. The click in your jaw from a drunken argument you technically won. Still, he got better. Yes, he got better than he gave. Outside, dawn creeps reluctantly over the fjord. Deep blue and black water, snow-covered mountains, pine forests swallowed by mist, thin streams of smoke rising from clustered homes below your hall. The scene is almost painfully beautiful. You dress in thick wool and fur worth more than an English farmer might earn in several years. On your thick beard are ringlets claimed on your first successful raid west across the sea. Every object you own has been purchased with either silver or violence, usually both. Warmth slams into you immediately as you step into the great hall. The central fire crackles from the hearth of well-tended fires, while warriors crowd long wooden benches eating smoked salmon, dark bread, and thick ale. Because Vikings consume ale with a level of commitment matched only by the shield maidens they call wives. One warrior grunts gleefully. Another is asleep beneath the table. A third appears to be telling a joke about a whales. Never mind. All bear the jovial countenance that comes with being part of the people of Jarl Eirik, your people. You smile at the warm familiarity, and then at something else. Your son Leif stands proud in gear of war that is slightly too large for him. He is 13 years old, and in his mind his time has come. "Father," he announces proudly, "I believe I am ready to sail west this summer." Several warriors immediately laugh, without malice, at the boy, amused at the capriciousness and perhaps remembering a time when they themselves stood, ready. You sit beside him slowly. "No." Leif scowls. "But I killed a wolf." "It was trapped." "It was still a wolf." "You stabbed it 7 times. The hall erupts with laughter. And honestly, this is most of Viking life. Not endless battle, not constant screaming, just cold weather, repairing boats, contests of strength, settling arguments, trading goods, drinking ale, and lying with your wife or husband, trying not to freeze to death before spring arrives. By midday, the harbor awakens fully. A merchant vessel from Dublin glides into the fjord, carrying wine, silver coins, fine cloth, spices, and stories from distant lands. Children dart between crates while dogs bark furiously at absolutely nothing. An Irish trader presents delicate Frankish glassware thin as ice. Another displays silk acquired through trade routes stretching absurd distances eastward toward lands most Vikings are not entirely convinced truly exist. Your villagers stare at these objects with contained excitement, especially the young shield maidens. When you get right down to the frozen roots of it all, you possess wealth, power, land, ships, a respected name, a warm hall during winter. Your life is awesome. By sunset, your hall glows gold against the snow-covered darkness. Torches flicker along carved dragon posts, while villagers pour inside carrying food, ale, and enough noise to wake Odin himself. Tales are told and heard, stories of heroes, sea monsters, kings, battles, men who laughed in the face of death, Viking men. They are proud, and they should be. The doors burst open. A man stumbles inside, covered in snow and breathing heavily. Immediately the hall falls silent. "Ships!" the messenger gasps. "North of the fjord!" Every warrior turns toward you. Now you are no longer merely host of the feast. Now you are Jarl. Well, you think to yourself with a warrior's grin, I suppose playtime is over. Or perhaps just beginning. Outside, snow lashes sideways across the harbor, while men seize shields and axes from the walls. Women gather children indoors. Torches flare alive against the darkness. You hear mail shirts rattling, boots crunching frozen earth, warriors muttering prayers to Odin. You know, a Viking settlement is never truly safe. Somewhere beyond the horizon, there are always hungry men wondering whether your silver would look better in their possession. You stride towards the docks with loyal, experienced, and somewhat nervous warriors behind you. The cold air bites your lungs. Out on the water, shapes emerge slowly through the fog. No one speaks. Your mind calculates immediately. How many men aboard? Danes or Norwegians? Raiders or traders? If battle comes tonight, is Leif ready? Low silhouettes emerge slowly through the icy mist. Dragon-headed prows, rows of oars slicing silently through black water. Warriors tighten their grips on shield and axe, because herein lies the part of Viking life the songs tend to skip over. You have buried friends, many of them. Your younger brother died in Ireland with an arrow through his throat. Your mother succumbed to winter fever. Half the boys you grew beside now rest beneath burial mounds overlooking the sea. Even in victory, you are left with more empty chairs afterward than before, and every man missed. The approaching ships drift closer, closer. The fog parts. Then suddenly, a horn. A horn sounds across the water. It is the unmistakable sound of the horn of Halfdan. Your relief crashes through the harbor like summer sunlight. Laughter follows like the echo of water on sand. You hear Bjorn loudly thank Odin for not ruining his evening. The lead ship crashes gently against the dock, and your old companion and cousin leaps ashore grinning through an ice-covered beard. "Eirik!" he bellows. "You ugly bastard!" His men follow, cargo unloaded, dogs barking, sailors shouting. One man carries a silver cross stolen from a monastery in Northumbria. Another drags two enormous Irish hunting hounds ashore. Another pulls his newest servant, a monk, by his leash. Within minutes the feast resumes, even louder than before. Music fills the hall. Snow falls softly outside. Leif listens wide-eyed, while sailors describe towering cities in England and warm southern lands where grapes grow beneath endless sun. He wants adventure desperately, just like young Vikings do. You remember being exactly the same way as you watch him in the firelight. You remember your first voyage west, the excitement, the terror, the impossible feeling of watching Norway disappear behind open ocean. Through all the fighting and the pain and the blood, at the end was joy. You laugh as you remember the singular exuberant joy of conquest, the joy that defines your very mortal existence. Near midnight, the hall quiets slightly. Warriors sleep where they collapsed. Dogs curl beside the fire. Outside, the snow still flurries here and there as it will. You step alone into the cold night. The fjord lies silver beneath moonlight. Your ships rock gently at anchor. Beyond them waits the world. England. War. Silver and gold. Storms. Ships. Women. Adventures ever awaiting. Death ever calling. And what else could you wish for? Beauty wrapped in danger. Feasting beside grief. Standing between your people and the dark sea every single day. That is what makes your life, the life of Jarl Eirik Sigurdsson, awesome!